What if I told you we could create $4 billion in additional revenue for the Australian tourism industry? Does this sound too good to be true? Let's take a step back.
Deloitte's Positioning for Prosperity report identified tourism as one of Australia's next waves of growth. Their 4% per annum growth projections would see the industry size double in just 2 decades. But it's not just international visitors that want to experience Australia. The fall in the Australian dollar means that even more domestic tourists are checking out their own backyard.
But for some tourists, it's not quite so easy. Take Bill. He has a mobility impairment that requires the use of a wheelchair. Like 20% of Australian citizens, he experiences a disability. Despite what you might think, he still takes a holiday at least once a year, just like 88% of other Australians with a disability. Unfortunately, it can be very difficult. Why?
One of the biggest difficulties reported by people like Bill is finding reliable, up-to-date and comprehensive information on accessibility for their travels. He finds the search for information inefficient and exhausting because information is scattered across so many different sources. When he does find information, he is uncertain of its accuracy. Like the time where a hotel's website advertised wheelchair accessibility, but upon arrival found that his room was anything but. Now, he often pays a premium for peace of mind and tends to rely on word-of-mouth advice from other travellers with similar needs, which can be hard to come by. It doesn't have to be like this.
That's where Accessible Australia comes in. Deloitte has the experience and expertise to change the landscape of accessible tourism in Australia. Deloitte can leverage their resources and capabilities to create economic and social value for travellers like Bill, as well as Australian business and government. Thus, realising that $4 billion in potential value. But what would this look like?
Industry facing, there is a database for businesses to input accessibility features and details. Participating businesses will receive updates from governments on changing regulations, information on best practice, as well as marketing materials. This database forms the content for the tourist-facing part of Accessible Australia. It's a digital web-based platform from which tourists can easily find suitable attractions, hotels, restaurants, and transport. It will integrate feedback through user recommendations, comments, and ratings, as well as meeting global standards of digital accessibility to ensure full usability by the target market. Ultimately, Accessible Australia will facilitate information transfer in the accessible tourism ecosystem. But can something at this level be done?
Whilst there have been a few grassroots or localised attempts, none have had the scope, comprehensiveness, and functionality to provide a truly centralised and robust solution for either travellers or businesses. This area remains a missed opportunity. Deloitte is well equipped to deliver our solution. With expertise in digital design of complex content management systems and a resume of consulting experience integrating diverse stakeholders. So what would the outcome be?
Well, for Bill, it would mean saving time, money, effort, and frustration. He would feel more confident knowing he had a reliable, accurate, and up-to-date source of information on the best places to eat, stay, and play. A channel for providing feedback on his tourism experiences will allow for continued contribution to the community more broadly.
For the industry, the financial outcome is clear. Just for domestic tourism by people with disabilities, the estimated latent value of this market is $4 billion. This means that by increasing participation by just 1.25%, you would see your $50 million value.
But that data was from 2003, and in the 12 years since, the tourism industry has seen significant growth. This means that the potential market size is now even larger than these estimates.
With a happy economy and a happier Bill, the future looks good for Australia. Accessible Australia will open our doors wider to international and domestic travellers alike, creating substantial value for Deloitte and their clients.